Hello and welcome to eRacing Grand Prix Global Edition 5, the final round of the season, and we come to a great crescendo here after so much competition throughout the 4 weeks prior to this. My name is Amazing. Alongside me here is Alex Young in the commentary box, and I'll be leading for today because I'll be given the task to do so. But yes, today we're here at Circuit Park Zandvoort in the Netherlands, and Alex, it's actually a great circuit, isn't it? Because you've been there before, and it's quite a roller coaster, isn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely is a roller coaster. A lot of up and down, long banked curves, and quite a few corners here that are quite unique that I've never seen anywhere else in the world. So it does offer a unique challenge. Perhaps we don't get the best racing at this track because it's all these long corners that lead into each other with not long straights and big braking areas. However, you know, this is ERGP, and ERGP, somehow we always get good racing.
Indeed, and in fact that we also been here for the Causeway edition, so we kind of have a barometer of what to expect. Yeah. But before that, we're going to run through everything here to set the tone for the rest of the day. So here we are, we're going through the championship leaders right now. And these are the 4 championship leaders. Alex, you can take us through here.
Yeah, so 4 classes today. We're going to start with the copper class, and Kelvin Pao is leading that championship. He doesn't have his own way. There's a small, he is being challenged there for that championship. Bronze class, Bernard Chan's in there with a really close fight there with Francis Angelo Gonzalez. Silver class, Noor Shazizan from Singapore has that pretty much wrapped up. He just needs to score a few more points and he'll win that championship. And in gold class, Naqib Aslan is only 9 points ahead of Josh Perwin. So a lot to play for. Here we are in the copper class. You see Kelvin Pao there. And Andre Jansen Villanueva from Philippines. He's within fighting distance there. So this championship is not done and dusted. Something like 49 points up for grab today. So in theory, all the way down to the top 5 or 6 really could win this championship. But in reality, I think it's going to come down to Villanueva and Pao. Over in the Teams Cup, Stratos Motorsport have extended their lead. They were going neck and neck with Tedco X Project Mu Racing. In fact, Tedco are leading, I think, after round 3. But Stratos Motorsport turned it around in round 4. But it's still super close there. You score points for in all 4 classes count towards the team's championship. So Tedco and even Sim Racing Filipinas could really overhaul Stratos. In this Nations Cup, Malaysia seem to have an unassailable lead right now. It's still too early to say, but that is a big lead. They won the last global edition, and it was actually Philippines that won the 2 global editions before that. But we got a tight fight there between Philippines and Singapore for second place.
Right then, so we're in practice right now, and before that, do we have enough time to actually get into an onboard with Ayman Hakim? I think we're just about to get. So here's an onboard with Ayman, who's going to be racing in the gold class, and he's got yet another interesting onboard to show us.
So coming out to the track here on the hot lap mode, we want to start bring out as much speed as possible here. This will be a very tricky corner here. As you can see, I'm lifting off a little bit there. 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear, down into turn 1 will be the most amazing corner actually, and a very unique name as well, Tarzan Bog, where you might want to shout like a Tarzan coming down that bank. So come into the third corner here, and the hairpin over here. Oh, a little bit of slide. 3rd gear, 4th gear, and ideally this would be a DRS lap, DRS zone, but you gotta be careful of the loose rear end. It's not gonna be good for the race. As we coming down to this section here, careful not to end up in the gravel on the left. 5th gear, 4th gear, a blazing right-hander like a Marlboro. We're in the Marlboro corner anyway. Coming down to the Renault corner, 2nd gear, 3rd gear, connected properly like how Vodafone did it on their connection. Another DRS zone, 4th gear, 5th gear, another overtaking opportunity here, down to the Audi S section here. Not much Audi on this grid, but it will be fun to see an Audi making a move. As we come to the last 2 corners here, ideally you want to have this in 3rd gear. You can have it in 4th gear if you want on fuel saving mode. And here opens up the throttle a little bit. On the throttle again, 4th gear, 5th gear, and there we go for one last time. That's 1 lap of me in Circuit de Zandvoort.
Well, Circuit Park Zandvoort actually, Ayman, but not gonna go into the nitty-gritty details of that. And yes, some of the corners have very interesting names, including the likes of Tarzan Bach. We're going to see a lot of that action there at turn 1, especially where the drivers want to go on the outside or inside. We've seen that back in the 70s. And of course, Hugenholtz corner turn 4 is the architect of the original circuit, also the architect of Shalam circuit, and there was another circuit, Suzuka, yeah.
Yes, Suzuka, that's right. Great circuit designer, wasn't he?
Right then, so without further ado, we're going to actually bring in a brand new commentator for this particular race, and it's Kian Butler. Kian, welcome to the commentary box.
Thanks, Emma. Great to be here.
Right then, so you've had a look at the championship standings. Who are you going to single out as drivers you're going to watch out for? Obviously, the championship contenders.
Yeah, well, very clearly in this first race, we're looking at Kelvin. He's 15 points ahead of Andre, but I wouldn't count him out there, a couple of good performances, one thing going wrong for Kelvin, and the championship could be blown wide open. Not too far behind Andre, we have people that are only about 9 points behind for the top 3 and top 4, so it's going to be a close one, Emma.
Indeed, Kian, and we're going to see it throughout the entire round here, because we're going to see the likes of not only Kelvin Pao and Andre Jansen Villanueva, but of course Kenneth Wong is in the mix as well. And judging by the permutations, because we got about 49s on offer in this round, we can actually see it all the way to the guy in 8th place, Sean Sear. He has a theoretically mathematical chance of actually claiming the title. So, as we see Nico go off there, he still has a chance actually of claiming the title. So it'll be interesting to see whether the guys in front screw it up and actually give an opportunity for him. But that's again a mathematical chance, isn't it, Kian?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. It's come down to the final round in this one, and there's not really a way to predict it. So it's definitely going to be amazing to have a look at, and it should be a great race to watch. Great 2 races to watch, rather.
Right then, through turn 12 and 13, this is the Audi S's that Ayman mentioned earlier. Can be quite tricky. Coming up to 14, Kummerbach, and 15, for those who don't know about Arie Luyendyk. Luyendyk was a former IndyCar driver and winner of the 1990 Indianapolis 500, and still the record holder for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway at about 240 miles per hour, if I'm not mistaken. The only close to 240 miles per hour as Kelvin Pao crosses the line. Luyendyk then one of the most famous drivers who has never been in F1, so that's a bit of trivia there. Kelvin Pao then, a 44.6, doing what he needs to do in the championship to actually increase his gap a bit, albeit by just 1 point, ahead of Brendon Wattanabe, ahead of Andre Jansen Villanueva, who has not set a lap time yet. Fellow Filipino to Villanueva, Brendon Wattanabe in second at the moment, only a 10th off. So we'll be interested to see where Villanueva sets his lap times right now, as we're going to look at where he is. And at the moment, he's just crossed the line, so he's starting his second to last lap, or maybe the final lap, because it's quite a long lap here at Zandvoort, isn't it, Kian?
Yeah, we're looking at lap times, as you can see on the board there, around the 44s, 45s, so 3 minutes is going to be cutting it. He should be able to get across the line and just about do another one. He might, if he was fueled up for 2 laps here, then it'd be golden, but if he crosses the line, resets, and goes out again, it's going to be a tight one.
Oh, indeed, and in fact, he shouldn't stuff this up right now, actually, because this is the lap time that he needs to do. And once he crosses, as you said, Kian, he can't have enough time to actually do a second one. So he's cutting it close, but he's within that safe buffer, at least until right about here. Because if he resets it now, he might actually not have enough time to actually do yet another lap. So it'd be quite close for him, because the way the cars are spawned is actually right around turn 12 and 13, so it's actually a long run up to the line. They have to go through the final corner to do so. So Villanueva then, right now, up by 0.2 of a second, so he is ahead coming out of Sector 1. It will be interesting to see whether or not he'll be still ahead by Sector 2, Kian.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the wire with this one. 2/10 is nothing to shy away from, but he is slightly slower, setting a personal best in Sector 2, but still a 10th down on Wattanabe, on Pao. So a 10th currently in the pocket for Villanueva, as he's trying to improve on his time, or set a time rather, and pit pole as he comes through turn 13 now. Will it be across the line and potentially the pole setting time? We have about 7 seconds until we find out. As he comes across the line now, where's it going to be for Villanueva?
It is pole position. I think, no, he's fastest in the 3rd sector, but his times are not popping up yet.
Yeah, it's an invalidated lap potentially, not sure, but that time was good enough for pole if it is valid. If not, it looks like he's going for a second lap here, Emma.
Kian, I don't think he has enough time, because he did cross the line just now underneath the 1 minute 44, and he didn't set a lap. I think that runoff at turn 12 and 13 in the LDSs where he ran slightly wide, might have been enough to invalidate his lap. So not looking very good here for the man in second in the championship. This is not what he wanted. This is not part of the script, isn't it, Kian?
Yeah, of course, it's going to open up the gap to 20 points between first and second, and potentially open him up to being attacked from behind in the standings. But crucially, that makes Pao's job a lot easier in this round, don't you think?
Indeed, and in fact, right now, the way Kelvin Pao is just only 4,000s up on Brendon Wattanabe, so that's the last lap that Brendon will set in the session. He is going to be on pole position, and the complement of 5 points that comes with it. Remember, top 5 score points in qualifying, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and right now, at least, Kelvin Pao has a full complement of that. As we look at the standings, we're looking at Villanueva here, and you can see clearly there, Villanueva is not even in the top 20. He's not gonna get not only no points, but he's not gonna be anywhere near Kelvin at the start of the race.
Yeah, it's going to be not only an ask for him to get some good points in round 1, but also to get far enough in the field to get the reverse grid that he needs to really try and pop off in the second round. It's going to be tough for him to do anything here. He has to be praying for a disconnect or some kind of mechanical failure for Kelvin.
Yeah, and that will be still a tall order here because, okay, disconnect can happen, but rarely has it happened to like the likes of Kelvin because he... And in fact, Andre Jensen Villanueva is just coming into the pits right now and he's called off that lap. So, yeah, he'll be wishing for that. But it's a tall order because disconnects rarely happen to drivers within the region. So, we have to wait and see whether or not that will happen. That will definitely answer his praise. But right now, Kelvin Pao on pole. So right now, 5 red lights here. Come onto the gantry. We're going to start the race. Round 5 here. Race 1 at Zandvoort. And we're on the way, and looks like it's going to be a good start for Kelvin Pao. In fact, yes, he does get the whole shot coming to Tarzanburg. So, Kelvin Pao then leads away. Nico Sage in second as he goes to the inside. Brendon Wattanabe coming into Tarzanburg, and he does get the whole shot. So, Kelvin Pao leads. Nico second. Brendon Wattanabe third. Kenneth Wong fourth. So, Kenneth Wong, one of the other championship contenders there, still within that outside chance of winning. But it is Kelvin Pao, the Malaysian, who leads the way and got the start that he absolutely wanted there, Kian.
Yeah, really, he did. Although he has Sage all over his bumper right now. Sage looking to use a lot more curb than Kelvin so far. Now, we saw he had good lap times in qualifying. It's been interesting to see if there's any difference in where that lap time is developing in the sectors. But of course, as we come down now to Schleipak, looking down the right-hander, then into Marlborough Bocht down the straight. Can Sage do something? He's dropping back a bit. And already, if we have a look, where's Villanueva?
Now, Villanueva, where is he in the lap times? In fact, he's up to 18th, so he was 24th. He made his way up to 18th. There's, a bit of an incident there. That looks like Azmi Arifin has lost control after being hit by Lucas Shea, so that's further behind. Meanwhile, we're looking at Villanueva, then up to 14th. So he made up 10 positions at the start. He's now gotten points for himself, 2 points for finishing 14th, but that's obviously not enough to overhaul Kelvin Pao. So Kelvin then still in the box seat up in the front. There is Kelvin coming through the LDSs with his fellow countryman Nico Sage, the 9-year-old right behind him. In fact, Nico then in red hot form. He was up there in the top 5 in qualifying and he's looking to get his second win in 3 races.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this fight between Kelvin and Nico really heats up, and that might be exactly what Villanueva needs as he goes up to 13th now. He's definitely made a great start for himself. He's going to have to try and carry that momentum forward. But yeah, he really needs to hope for something to happen up the field, doesn't he?
Yeah, indeed. In fact, so far at least, it's going line to stern for everybody. They're not attacking each other because they know that the what's up for grabs here is huge because it's the championship. In fact, for some of these drivers who are not even in championship contention, they want to also help out their fellow countrymen or teammates as much as possible. So we're looking through the field here from first, second, third, all the way to 7. We're looking at Lim Nicky. But the chap up in front there, nothing much is happening. Apart from there, Nicky has actually gone up the inside of fellow Academy driver Fernando Congelotches. So, yeah, you're right there, Kian. And Andre has to hope for a miracle here to stand up any chance of even closing up to the gap. And mind you, we still have a second race to go. So, points, despite being cut there, is still important in the second race.
Yeah, don't count for too many mistakes from Kelvin Pao, though. From what I've seen in the standings, he's already clinched 3 out of the 4 races, race 1, with the win. So if he can keep that consistency up, it looks like he should be able to bring this all to a close. However, Nico, crucially, not necessarily for him, but for Villanueva, is still troubling the race leader, and they've both pulled a second now on Wattanabe.
Oh wow, wait! And in fact, the gap between themselves as Chris Yu tries to go on the inside of Ramadan Satrio there, the gap about 8 seconds between themselves. In fact, 7 seconds. It dropped a bit because due to the shuffling going on through the field. It is still very much still pretty much open between the top 2 in the championship currently. But Villanueva then knows full well that he needs to get a buck up here in order to stand up any chance of keeping the championship alive in the second race, which at the moment at least looks a bit of a futile effort.
Yeah, Yuli though seems to be a bit of a cork in the bottle. As you can see behind, he's got a massive train of cars following him. Nicky Lin is trying to find his way up, but 3 wide in the background there as we go down into Tarzan. A bit of yelling going on there.
Oh!
The track goes Abdul.
Yes, Raza getting off there. In fact, there was another driver that was involved there. I can't see who he is, but that was a massive off for the Techco Project Mu Racing driver. There he is, he's on screen. Teammate to Kelvin Pao, because you can see at the bottom there, Techco Project Mu Racing, and they're looking good in the team championships as well. So they'll be looking to score more points coming to the close of the season. As crucially, I thought for a second that was actually Jensen Villanueva, but Jensen Villanueva behind John Mcgregor in 10th place. He's made up a lot of positions there. The big beneficiary of the drivers going at the hammer and tongs side by side into most of these corners, which you might not see much overtaking because right about this section of the track, for the second and third sectors, you don't see much overtaking. But Jensen Villanueva has actually made that work, and from 24th to 10th, he is actually going to be in contention for. We don't have driver today, but if we do have driver today in Copper, he definitely would be it right now.
Yeah, although it looks like a little mistake there. He was a lot closer to McGregor, but Villanueva now, trying to close that gap again, has to make sure he doesn't start falling backwards. Very crucially with his tires at 2 times tire wear. The question is, how hard can he push to make those tires last the entirety of this length of the race?
Now, 2 times tire wear for you, of course, it might not be much of a problem, isn't it? Because these cars, apart from the faster cars like the FRX 17, might actually wear out much faster. These cars might not be so much, don't you think, Kian?
I think so, but you never know. You know, just having that extra couple % of tire life in you means that you can push that much harder. As quite wide there goes Villanueva, but McGregor sizing up a move now on Ming Shu. Can he make something happen in Tarzan? No, still right on that bumper. You can see just how close and confident these drivers are. As up ahead, Nicky goes forward again, passing Condrola. I think that's pushing that one.
Don't worry, you're new here, so it's pretty much given. But it's Condrolochis, so well done actually pronouncing his name anyway. But yeah, they're been going at it hammer and tongs as well for P6. They've been swapping positions since about lap 2, so it's great to see that the Academy drivers involved. In fact, the first 3 on that shot are all Academy drivers. In fact, Yan Ming Chu as well. He's about 9 years old, I think. So the Academy kid showing how he can actually keep up with the Academy guys who are 20 or 30 plus years old. In fact, 20 plus years older than him. So it's great to see that it's a mix of ages here in this field. In fact, sim racing, we can actually get away with that because it's open to everybody and everyone can actually race competitively. As you can see there, Condrolochi makes a mistake. Yan Ming Chu is closing out right behind him. Well, it'll be interesting to see whether he can pull a move. And crucially then, behind them, Jensen Villanueva might be licking his lips here. If these 4 in front of him make a mistake, he can actually make up a boatload of positions to keep the championship alive coming to the final round.
Yep. Note to self, call the man I butchered, Adam. That's a lot easier for myself. But anyway, we have McGregor up ahead, still looking to move forward, and Villanueva crucially stuck down in 10th. His early charge quite brilliant from 24th all the way up to 10th, but seeming to be halted a little bit now.
Indeed, in fact, it's a bit stymied due to the fact that these guys are battling ahead of him. While meanwhile, speaking of battles up in front, Nico Sage still has not let go of the rear wing of Kelvin Pao. Kelvin then under severe pressure here, and he is championship in waiting. In fact, championship elect even, because with the win here, he has the full complement of 25 points, and currently, well, he had the fastest lap. Now it's actually belonging to Nico Sage, so he's 2 points off less from getting to 27, but still, a win will actually send him to actually give him the championship. So Nico then keeping him honest, he's not actually making him easy here on Coronation Day.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Obviously, Kelvin, a driver that has proven time and time again that he can stand up to pressure, but Nico He's really pushing him, isn't he? It's going to be up to Kelvin now, whether or not this race is his to win or his to lose. And Nico has to try and make sure that it's the latter, not the former.
Yeah, and in fact, that he's still pushing it. There he is. That's your first sight of him, Kian. That's how young he is. In fact, I think he's either 8 or 9 years old. And he's look at that. He has direct drive unit for a wheel, so he's quite lucky to have good equipment and racing alongside some of the best drivers in this class.
He's got better kit than I do.
So do I, man. So do I. I just wish that he could get a FedEx wheel like that when he around his age. But either way, look at that. That gap's still actually around 3 to 2/10 of a second. He's not let go of that rear wing. And unfortunately for him, he's not in the DTM class, because in that class he has the benefit of DRS. This one, he has to overtake him organically, so he has to make that move done right around here, because that's the only overtaking spot on this entire circuit where you can actually make it, around Tarzanbach.
Yeah, I have no doubt that Kelvin's pushing for everything he has, but I'm wondering if Nico's biding his time a little bit. I mean, obviously he has to try and make something happen in the next few laps, but probably later rather than sooner, considering that Watanabe is not out of touch. He's only 3 seconds behind, so that means that if they start battling furiously, then he could very well close the gap and make it a three-way fight for the lead.
Yeah, you're right, actually, because in fact now the gap's just dropped below 3 seconds, so if they start battling each other even harder, they might actually bring Watanabe into play. And Watanabe has, well, actually, he doesn't have a chance to win the championship right now. He is actually in 9th place out of that top 8 range that we mentioned at the start of the race. But it might actually do Jansen Villanueva a favor here as a fellow countryman to Villanueva. In fact, what happened to Villanueva?
22nd. What's happened there?
Oh, we can actually go to him right now. There he is. He might. In fact, I can tell you what happened. He was in a collision, so he actually spun trying to trying to overtake either Yang Mingqiu or McGregor. So, in fact, more spinners there. More spinners right for it. That's Brian Chua, the Singaporean. But yeah, that's it. That's the championship to Kelvin Pao. Villanueva has blown any chance of actually closing up the championship at the front.
Yep, unless he has some miraculous pace in these last 5 minutes to make his way back up and something goes wrong for Kelvin, that has to be Andre out of the running then. As he's pushing around the outside then, can he make something happen here? He is trying to make his way through the cutback there. Bit of an argy-bargy move there, but he's got that done. A bit of a tap on that rear quarter, but you have to imagine that he's going to start pushing back up now after that mistake.
Indeed, and if he's quite punchy there to do so. But to be honest, it might be a bit deflating to know that he's back to square one, basically. He's in 20th, trying to chase up to the guys in front. We're looking at other drivers at the moment. Here's Kimo, the other academy driver, who's only about 8 or 9 as well. I'm saying 8 to 9 because I'm not sure about the age ranges between these kids, but you can see by how literally little they are compared to the steering wheel. That's how young they are, kid.
Yeah, and I just want to note out here quickly that this performance right now from Villanueva is not actually going to be enough to keep him in second. So, according to my calcs, I think that Kenneth and Nico will both jump him after this round. I'm not sure about 5th place, McGregor. McGregor is a bit down, I think, John Mcgregor, but overall, it is looking like Villanueva might slip down the 4th, and he has some work to do in the second race in order to try and get that 2nd place back.
Yeah, you're right. In fact, Nico, with him up in 2nd right now, actually will make it a Malaysian 1-2, and that will actually pretty much secure the Nations Cup for the Malaysians for the 2nd season running. So Nico then and Kelvin indeed are doing an absolutely brilliant job at the front to uphold the country honor, barring the fact that something might happen between these two that will actually open up back to the Philippines back in Philippines' favor. But at the moment, at least 1-2 between the two of them, and I think Nico has backed off a bit because he knows full well that he shouldn't battle too hard. He just needs to conserve his tires and the car for a possible last lap assault.
Yeah, even if Nico passes Kelvin, it's not going to do much in his hopes of trying to get that 1st place in the championship. You know, Kelvin scored enough points here to where it is essentially secured, but Nico probably playing the long game here, thinking, as long as I get these points in this round, I have a good shot at P2.
Indeed, and at the moment at least, it's going to be, well, I'm doing the math on the fly here, arithmetically, 25, and in fact that Andre is outside the points. It'll be a 40-point gap between Kelvin and Andre Jansen Villanueva. So that'll be between himself and Andre. But with Nico coming into the mix, he's actually in 2nd right now.
Wow, yeah, look at that. I'm not sure how far behind Kenneth would be. But Let's see. I have my little notebook here. I'm going to refer to real quick. So scoring 16 points in this round. I'm excluding qualifying because I haven't noted that down yet. But 16 points versus 20 points is a 4-point gap. Nico should pass Kenneth.
Wow.
Except for the qualifying performance. Not sure where that was, but it's a 3-point gap between the two. And right now, based on race performance alone, Nico's outscoring Kenneth by 4 points. Actually, sorry. Kenneth is down in 4th, isn't he? So that's a bit more of a gap.
Yep. But we'll mind the championship gaps between the other drivers until a bit later, because we can actually note it by after this. About 1.5 minutes left to go, and I think next time by will be the final lap. So it's one more lap to go for Kelvin Pao, and between himself and a very, very good championship. He's had a very good season so far. 5 wins, I think, on the bounce here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that'll be his 5th win of the season. The most out of all the drivers in this class. And what a way to win it, because he's been in the copper class for quite a while. So for him to get promoted to bronze next season will be a great reward for him.
Yeah, definitely a driver to look out next season. Oh, a big spin up ahead. Who is that? 2 people have crashed, I think. Oh, it's just been collecting more. Wow, what is going on here? Another spin there as they were 4 wide. Comes across the track. Wow, Chris Chu. Maybe a bit of an interesting rejoin there. But ultimately not making that big of a difference as they come around for the final time on this track. We're on board with Villanueva. He is trying to make his way around. He's made it back up to P14. So that should give him a better starting position in the... I mean, relatively a worse starting position, but better than people around him.
Well, we don't
championship, a better position in the reverse grid.
We don't know where the starting reverse grid pole position is. We presume it's going to be around 13, 14, or even 15. So keep an eye out for that. As Jansen Villanueva is up to 12, 13. He was 14, now he's probably 12 because Yan Ming Chu has dropped out of the race. So too many collisions, and unfortunately, he was running up in 8th. Now he has to start all the way at the back. So disappointment there for the 8-year-old who was looking so good. Meanwhile, looking good at the front, in fact great even, is Kelvin Pao. He has actually pulled up a 1.7 second gap. Time is already up. This is the final lap then. This is just a cruise to the finish. This has been an absolutely brilliant performance, not just in this race, but throughout the entire season for Kelvin Pao. He has actually stormed it since round 1 with that pole position at the very first race at the Red Bull Ring, and then the fastest lap and the win, along with another win at Hockenheim, and another race 1 win also at Watkins Glen with another fastest lap. It goes to show that this guy is absolutely consistent. In fact, even if you take into account all the races and sessions, including qualifying, he's been in there. He's been scoring points all the way. So it's no wonder that he's coming around here as the championship. Like, as he comes through the RA line diet curve, it is going to be Kelvin Pao here. Almost certainly, as he negotiates safely around the final corner then. Kelvin Pao takes victory and the championship in the copper class. And that, you can see the absolute relief on his face. It's about 5 weeks of effort culminating to this, and what a way to do it. So congratulations to Kelvin Pao and to Tech Commute Racing. We're gonna go to the interviews here after this with okay, we're gonna take over now. Kelvin, he can actually hear us. Kelvin, can you hear us? We can't hear you right now, but you can hear us, I think.
I can hear you.
Okay, so Kelvin, congratulations then. Absolutely brilliant performance. Gotta say, the starts throughout the entire season have been brilliant for you. I think that I can see a bit of tears, right? In your words, how do you feel right now?
I can't believe I done it after like 2 seasons. The third season of Global Edition, I really can't believe I can make it. I'm lost of words right now.
And it's pretty much like your development curve has actually gone up pretty well here, and we're looking forward to you seeing in bronze after this. So it's going to be a curtain raiser for next season. What are you looking forward to in bronze class after this?
For the next season of the bronze, first thing is to get the feeling of the bronze class, the cars, everything first. Only then see whether what can I do to be more competitive in the racing.
And any words for your other competitors that you've actually, thoroughly beaten this season? And of course, stay humble.
Try slow down a bit, let me win a bit.
Well, just as I said, stay humble, but that was very bullish there. So well done, Kelvin. Good luck in the second race, and hopefully you can make it a good one after winning the championship.
Yeah, thank you.
So that was Kelvin there. a bit bullish towards the end, but I think you can safely say so because he actually put in a lot of effort for the last 2 seasons to be up there. And we're going to run through the results as Pao wins it, Sage second, Wattanabe third, Kelvin Wong fourth, Reynald Julie fifth, 6 is Lim Nicky getting a better congratulations, 7 McGregor, 9th Jack McGregor, and 10th Abdurazi Yaza. So then we're gonna come here for the second race, and in fact, it looks like a reverse fourth, up to 15, I think.
Nope, top 11 reversed for Copper. So I think Villanueva just misses out. He was just a few tenths behind the guy in 11th. So I think it was Sean Xia. I think that's actually in 11th. Who actually started from the pit lane.
Yep, it is Sean Xia.
Awesome. So race 2 about to begin. Go back to Ammo and Kian.
Thank you, Alex, and Kian, we're looking forward to the reverse grid race.
Yeah, it's going to be a heartbreak there for Villanueva to be 1 position short of the reverse pole. That's really going to hurt his chances to try and hold on to that second position overall. But, that also means that Kenneth Wong and Nico Sage aren't too far ahead, so we can make something happen here. In fact, they're only 3 positions ahead, so we have quite a competitive field from P9 to P12 pushing forward and above. I dare say they're not going to want to give up any positions too much as it's lights out and away we go. Down into first corner now for Sean Xia. Where is going to go into Tarzan, looking behind. It's an interesting start there. Looking pretty clean so far. I don't see anyone really dropping down the order. Couple of 2 wide scenarios behind, but back to you, Ammo. How is this going to shape up so far?
Well, so far at least, Sean Xia has taken the lead, and that's why he wanted to, for himself, be in the top 10 of the championship. In fact, he was coming into this race in contention in P8, but after qualifying because of Kelvin's pole position, he was knocked out of it automatically. So he wants to probably finish this season on a high. And in fact, guys behind him, including Jack McGregor, John McGregor, and in fact, Jack actually probably would. Jack is actually in 5th. Lim Nicky in 4th, so he was there in the season on a high. In fact, most of these guys, championship's already done. They just want to actually end it on a high, as I mentioned earlier. So far at least, everyone's still in the race. We have not lost anybody yet.
Yeah, there's going to be an interesting one here. We have some scenarios. Oh, and is that P3 now down? Oh, yeah. So one that was in P2, P3, and now Nicky Lin looking to make his way up into P3. So falling down the order is Yaza Drazek, and he's going to be trying to solidify his drive right now and just try and stop himself from hemorrhaging these positions like he is so early on.
He's hemorrhaging positions right now, and that opens up the ball game for everybody else behind to actually get 1 position free. But having said that, Yaza has actually kept himself in 4th place, in fact in the top 5 for now. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not the championship, well, not championship contenders, but the other drivers in front of him in the championship closing up. And speaking of which, Kelvin Pao has not made up that many positions at the start. He's in 13th at the moment. Sage Nico is actually up to 7th, so he is actually gunning for 2nd place in the championship right now. So that's one to watch out for as well, coming up to the final 30 minutes of the season. Copper has 3 white coming into the Tarzan box. Who's going to be the one that's breaking the latest? It's Kenneth Wong. Kenneth also, who's actually fighting for 2nd in the championship. Abdurazi Yaziraza gets pushed out white completely, and he is the biggest loser all of that. But Kenneth Wong then wants that 2nd place as well.
Yeah, look at that. Sage behind, Wong ahead. These two battling for P2 so far. Kelvin Pao slipping down the order a little bit. Villanueva trying to close up to that 3rd and 4th position runner right now. Can he do it? He needs to close the gap and potentially pass, but I fear that there's just too many cars between him and where he needs to be in order to try and solidify 2nd place.
Yeah, you're right. In fact, at least right now, between them, it's just among themselves. But in the championship point standings, how much is it between Sage and Kenneth?
Oh, probably on the spot there. I think it's going to be probably about 5 points in Kenneth's favor right now. Oh, sorry, in Nico's favor. So if Kenneth can outscore, so he has to try and make his way up in the 1st and hope that Nico stays in 3rd, I think. That's really just off the top of my head, but that sounds about right.
Good arithmetic there, kid. That was really good. And in fact, that actually opens up the scenario for both drivers, because right now Kenneth knows what he has to do. Well, he doesn't know specifically per se, because he's just racing as hard as he could. But for us and the viewers at home who are actually following, who wants to finish 2nd in the championship, that actually we can know who needs to do what to actually maintain the gap. And right now, at least, we know that Kenneth Wong has everything to lose here because second place in the championship. Yes, he's gonna get promotion into bronze after this. So all to play for between second and third, as the guy who is coming into second in the championship in this race, as McGregor tries to line one up on Shancia. Jensen Villanueva is up to 8th, so he might not be second after this, but for sure he's actually put out quite a fight. In fact, he's one of the most entertaining drivers to watch today, as Nico Sage tries to pull on the inside. Kenneth Wong, he tries to go around the outside of Hugenholt's corner. Can he actually make it stick? Oh, he's a side by side. Just couldn't make it just about there. But you know that Nico's actually willing to try.
Yeah, Kenneth really edged him out there. That's crucial there for Sage to try and get past Kenneth. If Kenneth finishes ahead of Sage, that's it. P2S. Oh, a big crash there for Nico Sage. Around he goes. Back on the gravel trap. And that's got to be his chances for second place. Done and dusted. Sadly, I think he got pushed into that one. He got sandwiched between whoever was in front and behind. And that just caused him to go around. So very unlucky there for Nico. But crucially, that should put Kenneth in an amazing position to secure second place.
Wow, look at how that changed between the battle for second. In fact, that I think McGregor made a mistake in front. Kenneth actually slid as well. Then Nico just ran to the back of him and he actually spun. So that's just gone pear-shaped for Nico's chances of second place. But having said that, he's not going to give out a fight because Jensen Villanueva just spun right in front of him. So he's actually just on the cusp of the points right now, as in front of him is Abdurrahim Yazir Razak, who has fallen like a stone from second place to 10th. So Nico then still will be in the chance of scoring points, but the ball is in the court of Kenneth Wong right now for the battle in second.
Yeah, he's got to keep himself calm. No mistakes, bring this one home. He could try and challenge for P2, as McGregor looks like he could be shaping a move on Sia now. Into Tarzan corner, slips to the inside. Is there going to be a lunge between the two drivers? He's side by side. That's a lead change right now. But Sia can try and undercut back as we go straight through. But that is McGregor in the lead of Tarzan. Can Sia try and make something happen through Gerlacht? As we go for the right-hander, no, but that opens up the opportunity for Kenneth Wong to go down the inside of Hugenholtz. Can he do it? Yes! Into P2 goes Kenneth Wong. He's got to try and take that win from McGregor if he can close that gap now. But some amazing action in that first sector of this wonderful track.
Wow, we thought that was going to be a boring race here because Alex did say just now that Alex did say at the top of the show it tends to be a one-line circuit because you see it in Formula 3, the Masters of Formula 3, and indeed in A1 GP that the only overtaking spot that actually can garner overtaking is Tarzanbach, but we can see here overtaking everywhere, and amazingly still we are not seeing a retirement.
Yeah, the wonderful thing about these type of tracks is that most of the time one corner flows into another and they're not always in the same direction. So if you send a move down the inside of, say, Gerlacht, you're going to end up on the outside of Hugenholtz if you don't get that done in time. So it is quite an interesting place to watch overtaking when it happens. But as we go down now, McGregor in 4th, Sia in 3rd, Wong in 2nd, and again, McGregor in 1st.
And that's his son, by the way, Jack McGregor. It's they luckily, thankfully, they actually turned their names the other way around so that it would be easier to identify. So Jack McGregor then, one of the survivors. Oh, is that Kenneth Wong going off? It is It is Kenneth. Kenneth has actually dropped it into the dirt, coming to Ari Lyndike corner. Would you believe that? That actually now gives the opportunity for Nico to actually try and preserve second place in the championship.
Yes, only 2 seconds between them right now on the timing. But I gotta say, a great job there from Wong to just keep it from spinning on the grass. That really helped him out. Because if he would have spun, you could imagine how many positions he would have lost. And that would have put Sage right back in the fight.
And he would have put him into the path of oncoming cars, which I should mention how 2 yellow cars that were in there, that was Lim Nicky and Jack McGregor, managed to avoid a spinning Nico Sage. That was pretty amazing. How Nico actually didn't get hit by anybody there. That is brilliant driving from everybody on the grid.
Yeah. Good job there from Nico. Normally you just kind of plant your foot on the brakes once you spin, but honestly rolling back in the gravel trap was probably the better choice there because it gets him out of the way and gets him in a position where he can restart with a better view of the field.
Indeed, and in fact he got his way out of there quickly as well, so he didn't really lose much in the way of ground on the top 10. But it has actually made his work a little bit more difficult, as we can see Jack McGregor going to the inside of Shancia, and that will be the second time we're seeing a McGregor 1-2. We saw this at Watkins Glen this time as well. is actually the dad leading the son as well. So Jack McGregor then doing an absolutely brilliant job here, and we'll be happy to see him more of this next season in the Copper class as well. So can't wait to see how this kid develops.
Yeah, what a brilliant father-son duo. It reminds me of an old Le Mans story where they had a father-son team, and I think it was either the father and son did 23 hours, or the other one did 1 hour. So some great pairings in motorsport history with father-son, and another one here looking to make it a 1-2 in this round, or race 2 of round 5.
Let's not forget, of course, Michael and Mario Andretti also did the Le Mans 24 hours together in 1983. And they did it in the same car as well. So, yeah, can you imagine also they might be teammates like Michael and Mario? That would be a great thing to see, isn't it? McGregor Motorsport or something.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. I mean, they're both privateers, I think, so I'll make it happen.
If John and Jack are hearing this, you should name yourself McGregor Motorsport after this, as Jack McGregor then doing himself a favor to actually finish further up in the top 10, and that would be a great way to start his debut season in ERGP. Meanwhile, further behind, we're seeing that Sean Sear actually made a bit of a fishtailing maneuver coming out of Hugenholt's corner, and he's under severe pressure there from Condolochis, Wattanabe, Lim Nicky, and Kelvin Pao, the newly crowned champion.
Yeah, maybe something happening through here for Adam as he tries to make his way up the inside of Sia. Sia late apexing there, getting a good corner exit. The yellow car there of Nicky, I think, fishtailed a little bit there. That could open a possibility for Kelvin Pao to make a move. He is running alongside in the next corner, and quite slow there from Nicky. He turns in. That's collision there. Oh, and a mounting from the driver behind. That's gotta be... Oh, that's gotta be disappointing for Nicky.
That was Nico Sage, by the way. Nico was the one that actually hit the back of Nicky. He tried to go through the inside of Villanueva. He got the move done, but I think that might be a penalty incoming for Nico. That would have been an absolutely devastating thing for him, because he had to move on the inside, but unfortunately he also tapped Nicky into the spin. So we'll wait and see whether or not the stewards will give a penalty later on. But if that was the case, and with Kenneth Wong up in third, that's second championship gone for him.
Yeah, that's going to be completely frustrating for Nico. I mean, he already knew coming into this race that he had to finish ahead of Wong. And, I mean, just from that spin, I'm not sure if it's just bad luck, if it's the pressure getting to him, but it's just not happened. And right now, excusing the commentator's curse, it looks like Wong will be able to take P2 in the championship.
we said that just now, and we look at what happened. He dropped it near Ari Lindite corner, so we wouldn't want that happening again. So let's not count his chickens just by yet. But Wong then looking pretty good right now in third place. In fact, he's challenging Jack McGregor for second, so he's trying to actually solidify that potential second place in the championship by going up to second in the race. Right now, at least, Jack McGregor holding on to second place, only about a couple of tenths in it between them. McGregor runs a bit wide there. Wong onto the inside. Can Wong make it stick? No, he can't. Coming into Marlboro Bock. And, still very close between them. We've seen some great racing here between the Akira cars. Can't wait to see what's going to happen in the Formula Race Room 3 cars. Essentially, Formula 3 cars, which has raced here before in the Masters of Formula 3 event. And that'll be interesting to see. But for now, we're looking at the Aquila CR1 cars, and they're providing us with some great action here up in the front.
Yeah, we've got still the McGregor 1-2. Wong's trying to make that not happen, though. And he's trying to push up the field. You got to think, though, with 3 seconds behind... with Wong being 3 seconds ahead of Sia, shouldn't he just be playing it safe a little bit? You know, he has the points he needs. He's going to get promoted to bronze as long as he stays where he is. Maybe, I mean, obviously bragging rights for P2 would be great. But you have to think, maybe, just maybe, he should just settle back and take the points that come his way.
Yeah, you might say so, but again, you try to tell that to racing drivers. Of course, we're both drivers ourselves. If we know that points are up for grabs, we wouldn't want to hold back now, would we?
Yeah, you're not wrong there. As into turn one, all the cars there, look at how many there are just line astern. I mean, it just goes to show how one small mistake, like Nico's earlier, really can send you down the order. But Nico is back up the sixth. So, and he's only 4 seconds behind Wong. So Wong does have to keep him mistake-free now in order to make sure that Nico does not jump him.
Yeah, and in fact, I also keep in mind that he also needs to put up about 5-second buffer between himself and the drivers behind, because he potentially might have a penalty on his way for taking out Lim Nicky. So this might still be not over yet in the context of the second place in the championship. In fact, even Villanueva, who might have not scored points in that first race, can still be in contention for even third. So Nico has to watch his back here to not actually get attacked by drivers behind, and indeed not actually lose more points to Wong up in front.
You're not wrong there. Fun fact, only the top 3, as long as Wong can keep his gap to the leader about 3.5, are actually safe from staying in the points if there's a 5-second penalty. Everyone behind the top 3 would get dropped out of the points.
Wow, wait, you have to consider. Oh, who's that spinning in the background? That's Shri Murugan. I think that was Shri Murugan into the barriers. Yes, it is. Murugan just dropped it coming out of the Vodafone bot corner, so he didn't get good connection there rather outside. So unfortunately for him, no points to end of the season, but it's been a stronger season for that Malaysian after being involved in the wars in the first 2. Now then, John Mcgregor is going to come around. In fact, he's come across the RA line that Bok, and he's onto the start-finish line, crosses it now, and that's the final lap of the entire season for Copper Class, as we see a battle between Kenneth Wong and Jack McGregor. So we're not going to get away from this. This is going to be a great battle towards the end of the race, and indeed, behind them, as Kian mentioned earlier, Linus third from 4th all the way up to, I think, around P12. So because we can see Adro Lock in the distance, this battle at the fringes of the top 10 still not over yet, and points go all the way to 10th place for the second race.
Yep, so Nico's still trying to see if he can get some sort of positions on this final lap. He's gotta hope that the battle between Jack and Wong heats up, but with 4 tenths between them, it could just be playing it safe at this point. Again, he's gotta try and find some pace here if he doesn't want to avoid dropping out of the points. If he gets a 5-second penalty right now, he will go down to about, I think, 12th place.
Indeed, and that will be also equivalent to be no points. But right now, at least, he holds the fastest lap of the race, so there'll be at least 2 points in his pocket. But if he can't actually build out the buffer in the last lap or so, he's going to be out of it. There'll be only 2 points towards the end of the season. Sorry, coming to the end of the season, and he is not going to be second in the championship. In fact, third will still be questionable still if he can't keep it there. Right then.
Yeah.
So much to talk about because 15 minutes just go by so quickly because so much has happened, and yet up in front, serenely, John McGregor managed to pull away from it all, and he's coming around the final 2 corners here. Through turn 14, the Kumo Bok, and up to turn 15, the Ari Lion Dai Bok, and that'll be it. John McGregor will claim his 2nd win of the season, and in pretty much dramatic circumstances in terms of how the rest of the field were fighting. John McGregor coming through the final corner then, and takes victory for the 2nd time, sends Watkins Glen, and what a way to win it here on the final race of the season. His son, Jack McGregor, holds on to 2nd just about from Kenneth Wong, and I think Kenneth might have actually held on for 2nd in the championship as well, as the rest of the field come through. Nico Sage finishes in 6th, and Jensen Villanueva finishes 7th for the season, and 9th, Kelvin Pao. So all 4 championship contenders finishing the points in the final race of the season, Kian.
Yeah, great work there from the 4 championship contenders. McGregor, well, I don't know. He might have done enough there to try and get himself in the P3 in the championship with Nico falling down like that. We'll wait to see how it's all been calculated, but I mean, I think P2 is Wong's. I'm pretty sure. But overall, we don't really know what people said after this race. It's been such a mixed up grid.
Indeed, and the fact that because the permutations change by every corner, so we're gonna have to wait and see until we announce it on social media, of course. So keep up to date on our Facebook for ERGP. But for now, at least, and we're looking at the winner of race 2, John McGregor. We know Kelvin Pao has already seen the championship, and unfortunately, we cannot have an interview with McGregor because I don't think he's on our Zoom. So we might be able to connect with any other drivers. I think we will have to. Yeah, nope, we don't have any. So that's it for the Copper Class. We'll wait for the unofficial provisional results to come on screen for the final time this season. And Kian, I think it's fair that you can take us through for that one.
Sweet, yep. So as we come around the corner, we're just waiting for the results now. I mean, some brilliant racing in that one. We had some amazing battles for the first sector. We had that one where 3 positions changed, but as we look at the standings now, Stratos Motorsports, John McGregor takes the win with Jack McGregor falling behind. And Ammo, you're going to have to take us through because I can't see it on my screen right now.
Okay, so Kenneth Wong, Shancia, Condor Lodges, Sage, Villanueva, and then 8th is Brendon Wattanabe, 9th Kelvin Pao, and 10th Abdurrez Yazir Razak. So that's the final top 10 for the Copper Class season, and what a season has been. What a season has been, and it's ultimately belonging to Kelvin Pao. What a way to finish it for the Malaysian.
Well, yeah, so thanks, Kian. wow, you're just right. Kelvin Pao with the win. He just, we saw the emotion after the first race when we knew he won the championship, Ammo, because he has been doing this a while. He's been in the Copper class 3 seasons now, and you've just seen this season how his performance has just gone up, and he's been so impressive. He's definitely going to go up to bronze for the next season, and that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, and absolutely. And as he said himself, he can't wait to see how he can gauge himself against the opponents in the bronze class as well to get used to the cars and probably the same track. So we'll have to wait and see for the next season's announcement. But for now, Kelvin can actually just soak in the adulation of actually winning the championship.
Okay, so that's the Copper class done, isn't it, Ammo? What's next?
So up next is the bronze class, and we will now have a word from our sponsors prior to that. So we'll see you after this.
Things to be aware of organizing e-racing championship without race room. First, no automated leaderboard would always be labor intensive. Elimination round would be the only way to filter the winners. Having the participants adhering to the schedule would be a huge test. We need to know the task will get bigger when participants increases. Time consuming. Organizing e-racing championship without race room, it's all need run manually to take down the participants and eliminate them from first round group to final round group. Because it is manual human labor, there bound to be human error. Manual human labor would have a price tag for the man hours involved. New participants would never have chance. The e-racing clubs in the world will send their best racers to participate the race. But that means your championship exposure is just limited to the e-racing clubs. Why choose race room? Our 3E official championship have fully automated leaderboard. Participants can log in anytime to leave the fastest lap time within the qualifying period. Each of the racers already have their ranks with race room. Next, save time. You can have unlimited amounts of participants in a super short time to qualifying them to final race. Race room can cover unlimited amount of participants. We have a full automated esports ecosystem from qualifying leaderboard to broadcast AI. Besides, race room's free contents lets everyone can participate to the race.